Conference Championship Weekend, the turning point for the College Football Playoff, CFP. As the dust settles from a dramatic slate of 2025 conference championship games, the field for the 12-team college football playoff is starting to take shape, and a few surprises have emerged. What looked like a straightforward race in recent weeks has become a more tangled affair, thanks to the outcomes of title games that carried massive stakes for hopefuls.
With seemingly a lot less fanfare than it has in years past. Take last year, for example, guys, as we get to the importance of these title games. Ohio State became just the fourth national champion that did not win their conference championship game. And in this 12-team era, what import or what value should we be placing on these conference championship games while also understanding it may be different for the different conferences that are out there?
Matt, let me go first because we had this conversation earlier.
Please,
all right,
yeah.
So here is my take, and it's different. It's probably different for each conference, but I'm looking at Alabama right now. As a two-loss team, you go into the conference championship and then you lose to Georgia. Now you had your third loss of the season. And now you're in a situation where you could be at that number 10 spot maybe for the college football playoff. And what we have learned, if BYU ends up winning the Big 12 championship, they could essentially end up being a bid stealer because Texas Tech is going to make the college football playoff. And then if BYU wins their conference championship, they're going to get in, which means somebody has to be bumped out. And you're looking at that number 10, 11 spot.
Sure.
More than likely, a three-loss team is going to get bumped out because the other teams are two-loss teams. So if you're Alabama, do you really want to play in the conference championship? Is that the game that is going to kick you out from winning a national championship? But to my understanding, it's just different in the SEC.
And this is my time, right, to go. But, you know,
we wind you up and you go, man.
I get it. And you know what, Scooby, it is. It really is, right? Being a former Tennessee Vol, and listen, we had no shot to win the SEC.
No SEC bias here.
That's not cool, man. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. And also, Tracy, who works here at ESPN.
Programs like Tulane, it shows that excellence, even outside Power 5 conferences, can earn real CFP opportunity, which could influence how teams and fans view conference championship games going forward. Abacus what this means for the 2025 to 26 CFP bracket. Putting it all together, the 5 highest-ranked conference champions, including Tulane, will get automatic playoff berths. ESPN.com +2, ESPN.com +2. The remaining 7 spots come from at-large bids, but with Tulane's inclusion, competition for those slots just became tighter. Seeding and matchups may now favor teams that clinch conference titles, even those outside traditional power conferences, potentially altering the balance of power in favor of Cinderella squads. For longtime contenders, the margin for error shrinks. A title game loss could now mean missing the playoffs altogether or facing a difficult road from the outset. Newspaper broader significance, a changing playoff landscape. This weekend reaffirmed a shifting reality.
For Smart, for all these guys, hey, put me in that game because it really is just different than everyone else's. And that's why it's the most watched conference championship game every single year in and year out. And I think that's also why we see coaches like they're never going to back out of that opportunity to play in that game because of how important it is to the culture and the fabric of that conference.
All right. And things are getting even more
invented it? Who invented it in the first place?
Conference championship.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, Sam. And I'm going to let you go on this question. Are teams going to get penalized for playing in the ACC, in the SEC championship game? Matter of fact, just any conference championship game. If you lose, do they deserve to be penalized?
Penalized in what way? In the sense that they're not making the playoff?
Yes.
So Alabama's the perfect case study for this exercise right now.
Yeah.
If Alabama loses to Georgia, are they out now?
So I don't think you can make it so like one-sided. So like you have to look at the whole picture for these teams. Alabama, with those 4 ranked wins in back-to-back weeks without an off week, is something that I don't think a BYU can lay claim to.
Right.
So like their resume
Who's
on
a
the
one-loss football team.
But what they will lay claim to is that loss to Florida State, who also got smacked by Florida today.
1,000%.
Right.
And that's what every Alabama hater is going to bring up. By the way, real quick, since we were talking, Cal won. They came back and won.
All right, so Duke is going to be playing in the ACC title game against Virginia.
Insane.
It's crazy.
What? All right.
We'll get to that in just a
wild. That is wild.
They came back and won.
I can't wait to watch this game.
We'll have to rewatch the tape. Yeah, but I think it's going to happen. I think it's inevitable. I think the committee last year, remember what that game was like between Clemson and SMU in that ACC title game. SMU was down by 20 points or 27 points. They came back and was lost by a field goal, right? So it was we can't leave them out.
So it matters
how they lose. Yeah, if Alabama gets blown out by Georgia, I think that opens up at least the pathway for other teams to make it in the playoff. But it's tough to just say to do hypotheticals and not look at the whole picture.
Of course,
on the season.
Somebody, the Hard said, if Alabama loses in the SEC championship, they're not going to be left out of the playoffs. That will be ludicrous. It is. I agree. But remember the scenario I just said. If BYU wins the Big 12, Texas Tech won't be left out. BYU gets in. That's a one-loss team. And then you have a three-loss team in Alabama. Somebody has to get bumped out. And it's going to end up probably being the three-loss team.
You want this, you got that.